my lovely angels, this is your girl Sam back with another episode of the Sam Squad. Hi! Today's video is all PR. Yes, I am so happy to say that for a change I have a batch of haul that is entirely PR. Well, it's just 5 perfumes. So if you know me, I only do 5 perfumes at a time. As a matter of fact, it was you guys that had suggested that don't do too many perfumes together because it gets tiring. Plus, you're reviewing the perfume for the first time, so your brain does get a little confused. So I have only 2 brands today with me. I have Naseem and of course our Khadlaj. Let me start off with a positive note that I like all these perfumes. Some more, some less, but they all are good nonetheless. Let's start with the first one, which is probably my current favorite Naseem perfume. This is called the African Sunset. You know, the packaging of Naseem perfumes are like insanely unique, and I personally love them. And because now they have sent me another one, like when I make my collection, I will like stack them up all next to each other. This is a beautiful ombre with a mango towards black ombre. I'm kind of wearing the same color. Yeah, it's almost the same. Now, African Sunset is an earthy citrus perfume. To everybody who does not know, Naseem perfumes are all water-based perfumes and they do not have alcohol in it at all. Now, a lot of people are saying this is a dupe for Tiger by Bulgari or Sospiro's Vibrato, whatever it is. And on Fragrantica, this has got 4.8. However, I personally do not think this smells anything like Tiger or Sospiro. I have another perfume that smells almost identical to Sospiro's Vibrato. I'll come to that soon. If you know me, you know me. I love like unique, weird smelling perfumes, and this one smells like the opening smells like we have this mosquito repellent called Odomos, and it is a cream version, and you apply that and you can like go to sleep or you can go hiking and stuff, it just protects you from mosquitoes. I don't know if all the mosquito repellents smell the same, but it has a citrus note and it has some aromatic notes. I know I'm not making this perfume sound very appealing, but you know what? It is the best part of that Odomos note. The moment I smelled it, I was like, this reminds me of something from my childhood, and it did not take me much time to realize that this smells like Odomos. Now that is just the opening, right? The citrus ultimately dies down and reveals like a earthy, woody base, which is what like makes this perfume like gorgeous. The top notes are bergamot and pink pepper. Middle notes are ginger, geranium, leather and pear. And the base notes are patchouli, benzoin, sandalwood, cedar and moss. Now the opening of bergamot, pink pepper and ginger is what feels like that Odomos smell. But if I had not told you guys that, maybe you wouldn't have gone in that direction. I kind of love that scent, and it's kind of like addicting as well because it's again nostalgic. Like anything nostalgic reminds me of my childhood or some good memories and everything, and this is just reminding me of that. The bergamot ginger pepper combination is almost aromatic. It smells something out of your apothecary. I have no idea where geranium, leather and pear are because I can barely smell them. The pear probably is adding a sweetness, but not really pear. How you think of like Lantady or your Off Late, like so many other perfumes that smell like pear. It smells nothing like that. And leather, which is supposed to be a super prominent note, I'm sure it's doing something interesting somewhere in this perfume, but it is not identifiable at all. At least to my nose, at least right now, because the production date on this is 1st of June. So it is such a new perfume, right? Well, it's not so new, but once it macerates, because I have introduced some air in it now, the opening of this perfume very much stands out and dominates the entire fragrance journey. However, when it starts settling down and becoming woody and earthy, which takes about 15 to 20 minutes, like the perfume changes. Of course, like the top notes will remain till the end. That's there, but like it transitions to becoming a little bit more earthy and woody. And the woods feel light, they don't feel like dark woods, By the way, I've noticed that Naseem perfumes don't sit very well on my skin, so I prefer wearing this on my dress. In short, to define this perfume, this is a green, spicy citrus perfume with a woody, earthy dry down. And also, extremely unique. So this is not a blind buy. You need to test it out before you purchase it. But the fact that it's got 4.8 on Fragrantica, I should have seen how many people have voted though. Anyways, but it's got a very, very high rating. So I'm sure, like, if you can get a decant, I have a feeling this is going to be liked by a lot of people. I much prefer this to all the other Nassim perfumes I've been sent. I think this is a purely unisex perfume. It has no Middle Eastern vibe. Projection, I would say, is around 2 feet, and the longevity, I would give it like 5 hours. It's a water-based perfume. It's not going to project too much. It's not going to stay too much. Most of the Nassim perfumes from this range, by the way, don't last very long. But there are other ones, strangely, those are like extremely long lasting. My rating for this is let's give it a 9 out of 10. I want to see how it progresses, because while it is intriguing me and I'm absolutely loving it and I'm gravitating towards this a lot, I want to see how it macerates and feels after a month or so. And the celebrity I want to give this to was Octavia Spencer. Maybe I was a little biased because it's called African Sunset, I don't know. But at the same time, it's this warm, balmy feeling I get, and I feel the same way when I see Octavia Spencer. Next is another one from Nassim Perfumes, and this is called Aqua. The packaging looks very ordinary, but honestly, like, I don't mind it because the perfumes come very, very cheap. This retails for around $20 only. This retails for around $20 only, at least in UAE. I don't know about elsewhere. This is the bottle. Oh freaking gosh, it is so stunning. You know, the camera is not doing justice. Like, it has this milky liquid inside. I don't know, wait, can you see this foam inside? I hope you can. I hope the camera catches it. So it's quite pretty. You can see what's going on inside. Now, I'm not going to spray this anywhere close to me, and I'm not going to smell it too much because I did go through it a lot, and it's one of the DNAs I do not like, although the DNA is very, very popular right now. This smells like Sospiro's Vibrato. It reminds me of Al Noble Safir by Latafa. And in my review, I had classified it as like a biryani pot smelling perfume. A biryani pot, what I meant was, you know, all the herbs you add in the end, because it smells very strongly of coriander. It's almost like that green chutney or whatever. Like, I don't know, I'm sure not everybody will be able to relate to this comparison, because not everybody has experienced biryani or has experienced the green chutney. But think of like pesto, but like without the garlic, you know? The opening is like that. So you have a very strong note of ginger and bergamot. The bergamot is extremely bitter, and while they have not listed it, it has a lot of herbal notes, like very, very herbaceous. The top notes for this are ginger, bergamot and grape. Middle notes are jasmine, orris root and vetiver. And the base notes are sandalwood, ambergris and musk. It starts off super sharp. That ginger and bergamot are so prominent and sharp, and it kind of like wakes you up. It hits you like very strongly in the head. As a matter of fact, not even inside your nose. It straight up goes to your head. So when you're spraying this perfume, try not to like smell it very closely, especially in the first few minutes of the perfume spray. In the air, it feels very zesty and fresh. Also quite spicy. The ginger is like really, really working it in this perfume. These opening notes do not really settle much. Like, you basically, like, from the beginning till the end, you're kind of smelling that ginger, herbaceous notes and lemon. And you would think that the middle notes of jasmine, orris root and vetiver would come in. Out of everything, vetiver kind of sort of comes in. So you feel like a little bit of this grounding, earthy, woody, everything combined kind of note. And in the base, you have sandalwood, ambergris and musk, which I feel do nothing in this perfume. So maybe this perfume also needs to sit for quite a bit of time. But this is definitely not for my girlies. Like, I prefer not to wear this at all. As a matter of fact, I feel it's a very, very, very masculine perfume. So if you're thinking of buying this for yourself, please like think about like testing it first. It's a very fresh citrus herbal, which usually I see, like I've been like smelling this on a lot of people of late. I personally would not want Ali to smell like this. I'm being very, very honest with you. But I know, like, because I've been seeing a lot of people wear this, smelling them, you know. And on Fragrantica, this has got 4.56, which is also a very, very high score. The thing is, the projection and longevity of this perfume, nuclear. And I'm not kidding. I mean, this is like 12 plus hours. It just lasts and lasts, it just doesn't go away. And the projection is also very, very like loud. It's like 4 feet or more. You spray just 2-3 sprays of this and this perfume is gonna last probably till the next day. I haven't tested it till the next day because I took a shower, but like till the evening, I sprayed this in the morning, until the evening, I could smell it on my skin. By the way, this one, I had tried it on my skin. It is super masculine, spring summer perfume. I would give this a 7.5 out of 10, just because this is not my cup of tea. It's a beautiful fragrance if you like. Think of like very strong bergamot, ginger, lots of herbs. If you want to go for that vibe, this is your baby. But otherwise, if you like do not like a perfume which has zero sweetness, by the way, this has no sweetness at all, then you might want to like go and try it first. And the celebrity I was thinking of, like I was like, for sure, this is obnoxious, this is very loud, has to be some guy from Magic Mike. Please don't judge me. Yeah, I did see that movie. I saw one of the first part, I think, because I thought Magic Mike was a superhero movie, because you had movies like Superbad at that time, there were a couple of other names like this, and I just assumed this would be a superhero movie, and then I saw it, and of course I couldn't stop watching. I wasn't married back then, just to let you know. So it reminded me of Alex Pettifer, I think that's his name. Like, it is a little bit like obnoxious and out there, but it is not the dominating perfume. It's not the top guy, the Matthew McConaughey. All the Gen Zs are leaving the chat right now. They're like, please don't talk about that. So I'm going to stop talking about that. Now, this is the last one from Naseem. By the way, they had sent me 4 fragrances, but they kind of sent me the Ocean Enigma again, and I already have that. I've already reviewed it. So this is called Naseem's Midnight Love. What I like about it is the color of the packaging and how it opens. Look at that. The bottle is also very, very cute. I feel Naseem has kind of simplified like packaging. Look at this. It's like such a, like a very, you would think it's so ordinary, right? It's such a black, but I like it. I like the packaging. I don't mind something like this. I'd rather have something very like minimalistic than have something super obnoxious, Again, water-based perfume. The moment I sprayed this, it reminded me of Khadlaj Fursan. And obviously, through that, it reminded me of Black Excess. But sort of, kind of. Now, in the opening, pineapple is not listed in this perfume, but I smell very clearly pineapple. Now, apparently, the pineapple note can be mimicked by a combination of sweet citruses and ylang ylang. I'm not sure if that is true, but those are the notes that are mentioned. So I'm assuming that would be it. After like a few sprays, the perfume kind of also starts smelling like banana. So you have like pineapple and banana in the opening, which is not listed. But I know ylang ylang does imitate banana sometimes. This again retails for only $20, which is like how, The top notes are bergamot, pink pepper, and mandarin. Middle notes of orris, jasmine, and ylang ylang. And the base notes of woody, vanilla, moss, musk, and sandalwood. Now these notes are making sense because that citrus is a very, very sweet citrus. It does remind me of mandarin. The pink pepper is just like a hint. Doesn't make you feel overwhelmed or make the perfume spicy. It just adds a little bit of interest, cuts through all the sweetness. The bergamot is there, but it's taking a chill pill and not like being very like prominent and vocal. Also in terms of florals, jasmine and ylang ylang both, if you know, are very, very dominating notes. They can turn very, very indolic. They can become very strong. And when present in the wrong way, in the wrong composition, can take over the perfume completely. In this, however, it does not. It's very mellow. Jasmine, non-indolic. Smells like whiffs in the air of jasmine. Ylang ylang also smelling very, very sweet. So it is that ylang ylang that mimics banana. Because you have sandalwood, musk and everything in the base with vanilla, it's adding more sweetness and it's becoming creamy. And that's where it changes from Khadlaj Fursan and Black Excess. So that's why I didn't want to compare this to that perfume. It's just the opening that gives me that. And I want everybody to know, just wait. Because I know a lot of people do not like Khadlaj Fursan, the original, the black one, right? Just wait for a bit. It changes, transitions. It changes a lot, as a matter of fact, from the opening till the middle notes and the dry down. Ultimately becomes like a sweet, creamy, tropical fruits kind of perfume. It is such an interesting perfume that I can't get my nose off it. It's weird. And also that orris, it's adding a little bit of powderiness, but it's not a very overpowering powder. So it does not lean vintage, it does not lean mature. It's a very strange, very beautiful fragrance. It's something I feel I needed in my collection because it doesn't resemble anything I have at all. Yes, while the opening was like Khadlaj Fursan. If you know, I don't wear Khadlaj Fursan because it's too masculine for me. Initially, I was wearing it, but I was in a different mindset. I used to wear very strong perfumes, but the more I'm trying new perfumes, different ones, my taste is getting more refined and everything, and now I feel it is like it's a very masculine fragrance. This, however, yes, it is the same direction, so I'm very happy that I have this because although I loved Khadlaj Fursan, it was leaning a little masculine for me. This is a perfect unisex. Kind of like starts feeling custardy, like banana custard, but like in a very mild way. So don't think it smells like banana pudding or banana custard or something. The creaminess is a little curdy, is what I'm trying to say, you know, because that bergamot and that tanginess of mandarin is still there. What I'm thinking is, how is it this cheap? How is it only for, you know what, let me not jinx the prices. Also, I don't think this is 100 ml. This is a 50 ml. Okay, that makes sense now. So yeah, while this is like $20 over here, as a matter of fact, it's slightly lesser than $20. I love this perfume. It's very pretty. I think it's a unisex perfume, slightly leaning feminine, but I think both guys and girls can wear this. I think Ali is also going to love this perfume a lot. I think you can wear this on a beach day in summer, even spring for that matter, but I would prefer this on a summer day. The projection is not bad for this one. It's around 2 feet, and the longevity also compared to this collection, the N collection, I feel the longevity is slightly better. It goes up to 6 hours. And this, by the way, I wore it on my skin, on my clothes, like I sprayed it like all over in my hair as well, and I really like this perfume. And it did not give me any kind of weird vibes, any kind of weird chemical scent or something. So this one as well, along with the African Sunset, I think these two are currently my favorite Nassim perfumes. My rating for this is a 10 out of 10. I think this is a very pretty fragrance. Now, I do want to see if Nassim fragrances change over time because this is a new formulation for me. Water-based perfumes, I haven't tried them before. I don't know how maceration works in this because there's no alcohol, but there will be oxidization. So I want to see how it works, yeah? I'll keep you posted after 1 month. Hopefully, I'll do an entire recap of the Nassim perfumes. And the celebrity I wanted to give this to was Tara Reid, just because I got this very beach summer vibe. Also because it's quite different. It's very unique, you know. And where's Tara Reid, by the way? Next, we have 2 perfumes from Khadlaj. And you know how excited I get every time I receive PR from Khadlaj. It's insane. If you don't know, I work very closely with Khadlaj. They were the first brand that actually gave me a lot of liberty to talk about their perfumes. They constantly send me perfumes, whether I speak poorly about it or whether I speak well about it. They're confident enough in their perfumes that they have allowed me creative, freedom. It's not like they can stop me, of course, but you know what? They've never ever come to me and stopped me from doing certain things. I respect the brand a lot. So here we have Khadlaj Royal from their Lee Prestige line. I know many of you did ask me for this. You were like, this is a dupe for, what was that? Hibiscus Mahajat by Maison Crivelli. And I wasn't sure because like it looked very masculine, the box and everything. So I never like considered like getting this as a PR. And this time I asked them for it shamelessly. But they did send it to me. They do ask me what perfumes I want and stuff. The packaging is like gorgeous, first of all. It opens like that on the top. The bottle is just like the one of Lee Empress and of Bold. But this one is like a mossy green color. I think this is the prettiest one of the lot, the bottle. And there's one more, it's called King. And that's a oud one. So I'm not sure like what it resembles or what it smells like. This one also. Guys, by the way, I cannot compare this to Hibiscus Mahajat because I had smelled Hibiscus Mahajat like a long time ago when it was released. And I had not liked it because I thought it smelled very close to Delina or it was in the same DNA. It again had this weird green something going on which like bothered me, and I was like, stop, you know, the whole rose and that green thing going on. But maybe I was wrong, maybe I didn't give it enough time because I literally smelled it off a blotter and I did not try it like much because I took a first sniff and I was like, I don't get the hype, you know. But of course Hibiscus Mahajat is a very popular fragrance. I still will try to get a sample or a decant because it's just not available right now. Lee Prestige Royal. Why did I not bother with this perfume before? I don't know. And thank you for everybody who asked me to review this perfume. I really like it. Okay. Bold, very, very bold, very different. Doesn't smell like a crowd pleasing perfume. It smells very, very niche. It almost smells the flowers, they smell like flower buds, which are of sweet florals. You know the flower buds when it's closed and you have that green portion and then you have the flower. I don't know why I can't put my finger on the flower I'm thinking of, but it's a overwhelmingly powdery sweet one. Is it iris? I don't know what, my brain is like so messed up right now. I can't even like pinpoint that. I think it's iris, but please forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's like that very sweet and it's purple, right? That's iris, right? Top notes, spearmint, blackcurrant, bud, absolute. Is it this, the absolute, the bud? Middle notes of cinnamon, Turkish rose, absolute, and water lily. And the base notes of amber, ambrette seed, absolute, benzoin, cedarwood, leather, and vanilla. Very, very powerful notes, very intimidating notes. Don't get scared. Funny enough, the opening, it smells like that flower bud, lychee, and water lily. This is what it smells like in the opening. I know it's very confusing to think about it, but just think of that flower bud, a sweet one, but it has that green note in it. Lychee as well. And then you have your water lily, which is like a very peculiar smelling flower. You cannot mistake that smell for any other flower, right? The thing is that lychee is not listed over here. You also have like a little hint of spearmint. So it's not a very minty perfume, but you do have this coldness about it. Oh my god, this perfume is going to be so difficult to describe. Okay, so think of the flower buds, your water lily and lychee. This is the opening. Slowly transitions in around like, give it 3 to 4 minutes. You start smelling the Turkish rose. But again, this Turkish rose is slightly green. So it is like the rose with the stem parts as well. The cinnamon is there, but it's not a very realistic cinnamon. It's more like the essence, the flavoring of cinnamon that you get. And that too, again, in a hint. It's just like a tinge. The Turkish rose, which is the pink rose, that is like the most realistic part about this perfume, along with the water lily. It's so realistic. Even the bud, actually, the bud thing I'm telling you, smells very realistic. So predominantly this is a floral and it's a powdery floral. The base, it's full of sweetness because it has vanilla, benzoin and your amber, you know, everything sweet. The perfume smells light and heavy at the same time because it's a very concentrated perfume, I feel. Smells thick in the air, so it feels like it's in the air, but it's like the heaviness in the air, you know. So you cannot spray more than 2 sprays of this. I'm warning you, like 2 sprays, like max. Like for me, I spray a lot of perfume, right? Like a lot, and I don't choke out easily. But this one, if you spray more than 2 sprays, this I'm talking about like if you're indoor in summer even, you know. But if you go out, you can spray as much as you want during winter and fall. This is a very overwhelming scent, so you need to try it before you buy it. I reckon this is not going to be for everyone because it just has certain notes that might not sit well with everybody, like powder, for example, right? It's quite powdery. It's very realistic, heavy florals like water lily, which is not a commonly used floral. Just like lotus, lily of the valley and the water lily, these flowers are something that can get polarizing. This is an attention-grabbing, hard-hitting, boisterous perfume. Shamelessly saying, look at me, look at me. This is like Leo in a bottle. Like this is the zodiac sign Leo in a bottle. It's borderlining obnoxious is what it is, you know. But I have fallen in love with this perfume. The more it dries down, the more it becomes very, very linear and it kind of like stays around in the air, heavy. So kind of like, you know, the lower portion of the air. I don't know if I'm making sense to you guys because in my head I'm making sense, but I hope I'm conveying the right kind of imagery for this perfume. This is unisex but leans feminine, but I think a guy can pull this off as well, you know. The projection, it's like 5 feet at least. Longevity, 8+ hours. Middle Eastern vibe, I would say, is mild. There's something about it that feels Middle Eastern. But there's no oud, there's no, you know, but that rose, especially because it's a Turkish rose, it's kind of giving me that Middle Eastern vibe. For me, this is a 10 out of 10 perfume. I know I will not always wear it. I know I'm not going to gravitate towards it a lot. But when I wear it, it's going to be like And the celebrity I want to give this to is Malena, Monica Bellucci as Malena. Towards the end, you know, finally the version she becomes. It's slightly melancholic. It still has this kind of a warmth and innocence, but then it's a baddie as well. It's very strange to describe it. Now, last but not the least, we have a perfume oil by Khadlaj. This is called Johayna. That's the packaging. The bottle is a matte gold with this turquoise metallic thingy. I don't know what it is, and it has the studs as well. Yeah, and you have your blue stud on the top as well, and you have like Khadlaj imprints at the bottom. This, forget every perfume that has been pistachio oriented, right? If you're looking for a pistachio that ultimately does finally smell like gourmand, edible one, this is for you. I'm not putting it on my hand because I had worn this perfume all day yesterday. Wow, I can, you know, the moment I open the bottle, I can smell it. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be a dupe for Trust, but it does smell kind of like that. Like it smells like Trust in a, you know what, I'm going to get the Trust bottle one second. So this is the Trust bottle, and you know, the blue line on it kind of like also reminds me of the same thing. So I have Johayna on this side, and I'm going to spray the Trust on this side. They are almost identical. Although in Trust, I feel there's something like an aniseed thing going on in the background. Also, it has like this library kind of like note going on, which I call like a little bit of a stale note. Johayna, on the other hand, I do prefer Johayna, you know. But if you layer these two together, yeah, weirdly enough, normally I don't like gravitate towards an oil version, but this is pure goodness. The top notes for this are pistachio and hazelnut. Middle notes of lily of the valley, jasmine, peony, geranium and raspberry. And the base notes of tonka bean, sandalwood, and it's a secret creation of Khadlaj. So they have not disclosed, they've just written plus creation. I'm okay with that because I know brands have to guard their secrets. This smells very creamy. Just wait for the opening to settle down. It takes just a few minutes, you know, but in the opening you do get some kind of aromatic. It's almost smelling like frankincense or one of those aromatics. It's the exact same aromatic note I get from Nebras by Latafa or by the Billie Eilish perfume, number one, you know. However, it starts like mellowing down, becomes very nutty. So you have your pistachio and hazelnut. Think of that like being ground into a paste and how the paste would smell like. Johayna smells like that. They have not listed cardamom or whipped cream, but I do feel it just has a little hint, a very, very tiny hint. So it's not very prominently cardamom. It's not smelling like that coffee cardamom or very strong note of cardamom, but definitely is there. So, you know, that aromatic note that initially felt like frankincense or something, it starts changing slightly and starts going towards like cinnamon, cardamom. And it starts feeling more and more edible as it transitions. So initially when you get that aromatic note, you don't feel it's edible. Within a couple of minutes, literally, not even like 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, you start feeling it getting like more nutty, more creamy, and somehow a whipped cream consistency also starts coming in. If you like pistachio in your perfume, you need to get this. This is probably like the best pistachio fragrance I have in my collection right now. I don't have many pistachio fragrances, but this is something I can get with. It doesn't have even the slight bit of bothering something. So this one definitely is a winner. I think when you smell these two together, it'll just make Trust a little bit more gourmandy. There's one more layering combination I want to try. So I'm going to use the Johayna oil on my paper strip. Oh shoot, I used a lot. And I got the Empire Victor as well. This is a new formulation. Okay, wow. Okay, this guys, oh my goodness. Okay, so this winning combination right now. Honestly, I just went on a whim, right? I was like, I'm not sure what I'm doing. But when I was making the notes, I was like, because the Victor is a very adult vanilla, right? It's not one of your girly girl vanillas. This is like a sexy, mature vanilla. You know what? I'm going to wear this today. Along with Johayna. It's become very, very beautiful, guys. It's just added like a very adult, very boozy vanilla to the Johayna perfume. Wow, I'm gonna ask them to bottle these two together. I can do it as well. As a matter of fact, in a decant, I can empty some of this and add a little bit of oil. Stunning. I love this. This is a 10 out of 10. Johayna is a 10 out of 10. Okay, sometimes I go nuts. And this is how I'm behaving right now. Normally I behave like this with all my perfumes. I become like a psycho. And I'll have to carry 2 bottles today to work, so... Ugh. And the celebrity I want to give this to is Denise Richards. Denise Richards, when she appeared in Friends, in that episode, where everybody starts like leching at her, sadly. You know how hot she was in that? Like Johayna, I don't know, for some reason, Denise Richards came in my mind. This is heavily leaning Middle Eastern. Although I know pistachio note is not reserved for Middle East, but it just gives off a very, very Middle Eastern, very royal Middle Eastern vibe. The projection is a good 3 to 4 feet, I'm not kidding, even for the oil. And the longevity was around 7 hours. I tried it yesterday on my skin. So I had worn it on my wrist, on my back of my palm. I had worn it behind my ear. That's it. And it lasted like till I came home. I could still smell it on myself. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm hoping it is not a long one because all my previous videos have become like very, very long. And I'm trying to This was a very successful PR display. I'm very happy with all the perfumes except for this guy, Naseem Aqua. But that's because I'm not a boy, and this is a very boy fragrance. It's a very boy, and I'll see if Ali likes it or not, and I'll let you guys know if he has liked it or not. But otherwise, like everything I tried today, the 2 Naseems, Midnight Love and African Sunset, so different. But in terms of longevity and projection, these will always be slightly weaker compared to alcoholic perfumes. And that's the reason why I did these first and not the Khadlaj perfumes, which are stark opposites, polar opposites, so strong, so like overwhelming. Both Johayna and this one. That's it for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.